Have you had a repeated hunch that Kerala is one place in the world that keeps making headlines? If you do, trust that hunch because the state is perennially doing. This week was just another week in the life of Kerala, making interesting international headlines, like it does virtually every other week. Point to note, Kerala turns the seemingly trivial into globally terrific stuff. Here are a few picks from the past few days. 1. Tourism champ. Kerala has no Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar or the majestic Himalayas, but when the New York Times picked 52 places to go to in 2023, Kerala was the only place from India to figure in that list. The New York Times mentions locations like Vaikam, Kumarakam and Maraventuruthu and says, in Kumarakam, visitors can paddle through jungly canals, weave rope from coconut fiber and even learn to climb a palm tree. In Maraventuruthu, visitors can follow a storytelling trail and enjoy village street art before taking in an evening performance of a traditional temple dance. Because the New York Times said so, I had to go to Kumarakam this week just to reconfirm that the place has not lost its serenity and has no gaudy constructions. Just plain paddy fields and happy villagers. What can you expect here? Well, the rustic village life, sitting on a bamboo bench like this and enjoying hundreds of acres of paddy fields like these.
വടംവലി മത്സരം ഉടനെ കൃത്യം 5 മണിക്ക് തന്നെ ആരംഭിക്കുന്നതാണ്.
2. Socioeconomic star. Just before the New York Times article came a McKinsey Global Institute report that put Kerala among the world's socioeconomically advanced regions, which have a per capita GDP of at least $8,300 and a life expectancy of at least 72.5 years. Well-being, in other words. Take a look at that world map and then at India, and you can see Kerala is among a few oases in the country that fall in the socio-economically advanced regions. 3. Malayali beer storms Poland. What's the latest buzz in Poland? A beer branded Malayali. The outcome of sheer ingenuity by two Keralites, Chandra Mohan Nallur and Sargiv Sukumaran. Nallur works with the Indo-Polish Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the beer idea came to mind while wondering what to do with 5 tons of rice flakes that came from India, which was meant for Africa and got caught in Europe owing to the Russia-Ukraine war. Nallur and Sukumaran are now using Indian rice and European hops to make the hybrid beer brand. Poland and a few other European markets are already saying cheers to the Malayali. 4. VVIP destination. Long before the New York Times picked Kerala as one of the must-see places in 2023, global VVIPs have had the fill of Kerala, from the late Queen Elizabeth to the present King Charles, when he was Prince Charles, to Beatle George Harrison. Last week it was Tonino Lamborghini, heir of the Italian luxury lifestyle brand Lamborghini, who said, I've been to many places in India, but Kerala is high level. It is not just beautiful, it is exclusive, like Italy. And if you were in Kerala last week, you would have run into writer William Dalrymple on the Kozhikode beach at the Kerala Literature Festival. So if you consider yourself very, very special, you must visit Kerala. 5. Golden Medicos. Kerala's healthcare rankings, which are way above India's and at near parity to those of developed nations, is owed considerably to its medicos, from doctors and nurses to physiotherapists and palliative care workers. Kerala's nurses have endeared themselves to the whole world, and there are doctors like K.M. Cherian, who has worked magic across Kerala, India and abroad with the scalpel. This week when a star cardiac surgeon, Jose Chaco Periyapuram, had a fall on his farm, all of Kerala was concerned. Periyapuram and his team have done a mind-boggling 20,100 heart surgeries over a 26-year period between 1997 and 2003. I asked Dr. Periyapuram why, despite his international exposure, he chose to stay back in Kerala, unlike many other doctors who prefer to migrate. And he says there's nothing quite like home soil.
Being able to mix with the family members on my side as well as on my wife's and parents' side is a pleasure. You feel that it is your own, soil, and you have got the enjoyment being a active part of the society.
6. Gender rights. Kerala was the first state in India to have a transgender policy a good 8 years ago in 2015. Since then, Kerala has introduced other novel initiatives like gender neutral uniforms in schools, and the State Human Rights Commission suggesting that students address all teachers as teacher instead of calling them sir and madam. This week, Kerala added even more muscle to its push for gender rights by proposing to give menstrual leave to female students across all universities in the state. Last week, the Kodagara Block Panchayat in Thrissur district caught national attention for its She Workspace project. It features a co-working space for women, an employment training center for mothers of differently abled children, and a creche. 7. Out of the box, out of the state. Keralites are known to go out of the state by the million. Those who stay in the state think out of the box. Thoughts that may seem trivial but are terrific in their own ways. Like a new kind of literacy, constitution literacy, at a time when there are fears that our constitution itself is being undermined. Kottayam was India's first fully literate town in 1989, and Ernakulam was India's first fully literate district in 1990, before Kerala became India's first fully literate state. This week, Kollam district was declared India's first constitution literate district in the whole country, where all 700,000 families have a basic knowledge of the constitution of the country. Or like the Meenangadi Panchayat in Wayanad district turning into a carbon neutral panchayat. Or like an Islamic institute, the Academy of Sharia and Advanced Studies, ASAS, incorporating Sanskrit grammar and Hindu texts into its syllabus. 8. The questioning Keralite. Like the argumentative Indian, there is a questioning Keralite. With a healthy proportion of Hindus, Muslims, Christians and rationalists, the contentious questions come from all quarters in Kerala. So the tradition of serving vegetarian meals at the school's cultural fest is questioned and branded as an extension of Brahmin hegemony. The topics like halal food and hijab are discussed day in and day out, and many Christians in Kerala will even defy the Pope over the style of conducting mass. 9. Political museum. Kerala is known for its curating prowess, like the way it spins stories around its early tourism experiences and packages and brands it for the whole world. It uses its same curating strength to preserve political ideologies that are becoming redundant. So Kerala preserves communism just in case it vanishes from Cuba, Laos, Vietnam, North Korea and a few other places. In a way, Kerala also preserves the Congress party, giving its former president Rahul Gandhi a foothold in Wayanad constituency when Uttar Pradesh gave him and his party a drubbing. And the BJP has no seats in the Kerala assembly because Kerala has to think different from India. In fact, it thinks so differently from India that when Argentina won the Soccer World Cup, the Argentine Football Federation's official Twitter handle thanked Bangladesh, Kerala, India and Pakistan. If you think you're very special, you must visit Kerala, like a Lamborghini or a Dalrymple did these past few days. You don't need a New York Times endorsement for that. And there's the additional incentive of the Kochi Biennale right now. Let me leave you with a typically small, big thing that Kerala did differently this year end. Decking up a giant, century-old rain tree in Fort Kochi, one of Kerala's numerous tourist destinations, into a giant Christmas tree. The biggest Christmas tree in India, Asia, the world, doesn't matter. It was super pretty and turned heads.